incredibly competent, online, offline, has a great podcast, probably the #1 podcast interviewing people here in Dubai. He lives in Dubai now for many years, and his partner's coming up shortly thereafter, but I want to introduce Barry Cummings.
Hello. Good afternoon, everybody. Lovely to be here again. I say Barry Lee Cummings, and I live here in Dubai. I have an office just over the road in Media City, and my day job is running a digital marketing agency. But what's spun out of that is a not-for-profit initiative we run called Beat the Cyberbully. So we go into schools and we talk to children and parents, teachers, about the online environment. And what I'd like to do today is just to have a little chat with you guys. Can I just see by a show of hands who has children in here? Okay. Who has nieces, nephews, if you don't have your own children, or some young people in your charge at some point? Everybody put their hands up. So I'm going to ask a silly question now. Who in here does not have a smartphone? Okay. Oh, okay, one person. Good. Do you have a feature phone? As in do you have any kind of mobile phone? You don't have anything. Okay, interesting. So a minority amongst all of us here, and most of us are using a digital environment some way or another. We're accessing through mobile, and what we're not thinking about is what we're saying. What I want to talk to you about today is your online reputation. And in today's world, your online reputation is your reputation. How many of you have said something online that you didn't mean? How many of you said something to somebody's face that you didn't mean? We've all done it. We've all said something in the heat of the moment where we thought, oops, I didn't mean that. The beauty of doing it face to face, I can apologize to you. I can say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. In the online environment, I can't really say I'm sorry. Because once you publish something online, it's online forever. It doesn't take more than a second for somebody to capture it, screen capture it, repost it, forward it, and so forth. And that piece of content is now out there, and you've lost control of it. But that piece of content remains part of your online reputation, which means it remains part of your reputation. When I search each and every one of you online, what do I find? Do you even know? And if you don't know, then we need to start to take some action. So what I want you to do from today's session is to start to take some control over your online reputation. The first thing that has to happen is you have to listen. You have to listen online for your own personal brand and for the brands that you work for. The easiest way to do that, Google Alerts or Talkwalker Alerts. Set up these alerts for your personal name, for the keywords that are associated to your brand, and anything that you want to be associated with. Because as you start to listen, you can start to take control. If you're not listening, you don't actually know what's being said about you. You don't actually know what's being said about your organization, so you don't know what your reputation is. Because our reputation is forged online, my first perception of you is from Google, or Facebook, or Instagram, or LinkedIn, or Twitter, or Snapchat, or whichever is your channel of choice. That's where I form my perception of you. Is it positive or is it negative? Do you even know? Because if you don't know, there could be a problem. There could be scenarios whereby you're not winning business or you're not actually making connections or able to go to meetings. Because how many of you have done this? When somebody that you don't know has asked for a meeting, how many of you have Googled them? Yeah, a few people. How many of you have gone on LinkedIn and looked them up? How many of you have cancelled that meeting as a result of what you found? I have. Because my online reputation is way too valuable to be associated with certain people who say certain things without thinking. Because by association, it affects my online reputation. So we have to listen. We've got to start listening to what's being said. For our children, we have to listen. Because how many of you, just shout out a couple of social media platforms for me. Yep. Okay. Very good. Yeah, that's not really a social network. It used to be. But how many of you have heard of Confide? WUT? Popcorn? Whisper? Any of those? Except for you, David, because you're in this industry. That's it. Face the corner. WT, Whisper, Confide, all of these instant messaging chat apps that are available that not many of you could say you've ever heard of, your children are using. They're utilizing without you knowing, and if you don't know what they're doing, they are contributing to their online reputation through these applications. When they get to that point, when they apply to university, their application goes in the no pile, through no fault of their own, they believe, except they already put this in place from a younger age. So we want them to start taking care of their online reputation. Your online reputation is your reputation. It is invaluable to the point where banks are now looking at your online reputation before they give you a loan. 93% of recruiters and employers are looking at your online presence to see whether or not you're going to get a chance to come through. Your online reputation matters. Start taking control. If you want more information about this, check out the website that we've got, www.repselfie.ae, which is an application that will actually allow you to start taking control of your online reputation, deleting some of the stuff you didn't really mean. Thank you very much for your time.